This is Shireesha from Master of Business Administration, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So, in the previous sessions, we have discussed about nature, scope of business economics and its definition. So, today we are going to discuss about demand analysis. So, what is this demand analysis? So, in this demand analysis, in this particular session, we are going to study about or know about what is demand, what are the determinants of demand, so what are the different types of demands and demand function. So coming to the first topic, that is what is demand. So coming to what is demand, so basically demand means a person, an individual need to have wish to buy something, so he should have ability to buy it, and he should specifically set, like he should definitely pay whatever price a manufacturer is offering for. So this is what is demand naturally, right? So coming to this definition or meaning of demand, so every want which is supported by willingness and ability to buy the by constitutes demand for a product or service. So there must be three conditions which must be satisfied to create demand. So first one is desire on the part of the buyer. So here I should want, or I want to buy a particular product. So that is my want. So here, until unless I have desire to buy a product, I cannot create demand for that particular product, right? So that is the first condition to satisfy demand. And coming to the next point, that is willingness to pay for it. So what is this willingness to pay for it? So I have got desire to buy a product, and I should also have willingness to pay for it. So I have desire, I want something to buy. For example, I want to buy a car. That is my wish. So this is my want. So is it going to create demand? No. So I am having a want, but I can satisfy the demand condition when I am willing to pay the specified amount, whatever a manufacturer specifies. That is ability to pay the specified price for it. Okay. So these are the three conditions which makes demand. Okay. So now coming to these three points or three conditions. So if failing one of the condition, so that does not create demand. So I'll take a small example here. My wish is to construct a bungalow. So when I wish to construct a bungalow of my own, so I should have ability to buy that or ability to construct it. So I have a very good wish that I want a bungalow, but I am not able to buy that bungalow or construct that bungalow, right? So when I'm going to when I may be able to pay, then only we are going to create demand. But okay, I am able to pay the specified amount. I also have want, but I am not willing to pay for it. Why I am not willing to pay for it? Because I don't want to spend some crores of money on it. So here I'm not willing to pay for it, but I have ability to pay, and I have a wish here. So here, until unless all the three conditions together satisfy the demand function or demand condition, so demand cannot be created. So these are the three conditions which satisfies or which creates demand. Okay. So now let's move on with the nature and types of demand. So we have different types of goods or different types of demands in nature. So we are going to differentiate different types of goods, so that we also understand what are the different types of demands which are created. So coming to the first one, that is consumer goods and producer goods. So consumer goods are like which we are directly consuming immediately. We are going to consume the products, so which gives the direct satisfaction to us. Okay, for example, wheat, bread, rice, apple, all these comes under consumer goods. And coming to producer goods are like a tractor or a machine. So these producer goods are going to manufacture sometimes consumer goods also. Okay, so sometimes we can also have both consumer good and producer good as a same product. For example, paddy, so we use it for direct consumption, and we use it for again for the next crop to sow the seeds. So this like this paddy acts as both consumer and producer good, right? So now coming to the next type of demand, that is autonomous demand and derived demand. What is this autonomous demand? Autonomous means independent, right? Independent demand. How independent demand is created? How derived demand is created? So what is this derived demand? Derived demand is here based on autonomous demand. Demand is going to be created, that is called as derived demand. Okay, so now here derived demand is a dependent demand. So on what it is dependent? On autonomous demand it is dependent. For example, we see a hospital. Okay, so hospital is a autonomous demand. Okay, so based on visitors of the hospital, so there will be so much of derived demand, right? So here if a hospital is located at a particular place, we generally see what around the hospitals. We see a fruit vendor, we see a medical shop, we see sometimes nowadays uh, uh, ATM centers, and we also see some tiffin centers and all. So why we see all these around in and around the hospital premises? Because when there is hospital, like patients or visitors of that hospital will require all these facilities, right? So for that purpose, people or a small businessman try to take that opportunity and start their business over there, so that they get more income out of it. So that's the reason they uh, m- they are setting up their business to take that opportunity and create demand for their products. So here autonomous demand is hospital. If there is no hospital there, of course you may say that um, uh, madam, even like without a hospital also tiffin center is running. Without hospital, fruit vendor is selling his fruits, or medical stores, yes, of course they are running their businesses. But if they are located in and around hospital area, definitely demand can be created more for their products. So that's the reason we say that it has a derived demand. Okay, so hospital is autonomous demand, and all these types of businesses comes under derived demand. So derived demand is dependent demand. So autonomous demand is independent demand, right? So now coming to next type of goods, that is durable good and perishable good. So what is this durable good? Like which is going to last for longer duration, right? For example, like TV, refrigerator, sofa set, all these last for some long duration, right? So these goods, when we talk about these goods here, we don't see, like we see when the price is coming down and when the price is going up. So if the price, like generally we see offers for these all durable goods in the seasonal times, like for example Dashara, Damaka, or Diwali offers, or some festive offers will be given, right? So at that time, people like to buy more amount of goods at that moment. Okay, so we, when the price is coming down, we as an individual like to buy more number of quantity at that moment. So instead, if you require that particular product badly, so that it is not a necessity good, durable good is not a necessity good, right? So when it is not a necessity good, we can easily postpone our want or wish, and we can wait till the price comes down, or when the offer is given by the manufacturer, that time we would like to buy the product, right? So that is all about durable goods. And coming to perishable goods, perishable goods are like which are going to easily spoiled or quickly get spoiled. So those are perishable goods. So coming to these perishable goods, for example, we can take them as milk or milk products, vegetables, fruits, ice creams. All these are perishable goods, right? So these perishable goods, once they get spoiled, they will not have any value out of them. We cannot have any value out of them. But when they are fresh, then prices can be more and demand can also be more for the fresh item of perishable goods. Next point is short term demand and long run demand. Okay, what is the short run demand and long run demand? Short run demand is where a demand is created for a particular product in a particular region, is short run demand, where we are measuring the demand for a particular product for a certain period, right? So now coming to long run demand. So here the same concept applies, just like short run demand, where we are going to study for a particular region, for a particular product for longer duration. But in longer duration, if the customer requires more changes or a little change in the product, like he requires some little change in the product, so that cannot be done in shorter demand, right? So as per the customer perception or demand, like the product can be remodified in the long run demand. For example, technology. So technology keeps on updating itself, right? So when it is updating, so in short run demand can in short run demand, that product cannot be updated, right? But coming to long run demand, technology can be updated. So that is the major difference between short run demand and long run demand. Next, coming to new demand and replacement demand. New demand is we are going to buy a new product. I like to buy a new watch, right? When I want a new watch, I'm just going to a watch shop and buying a watch here. That is new demand. What is this replacement demand? So mixer, we have mixer in our houses, right? So like after 15 years of usage of that mixer, we don't want to use further, though it is in working condition, or we want to just go for exchange offers, right? So when a good exchange offer releases by a manufacturer, so immediately what we want to do, definitely we want to exchange it, right? So we are replacing one product with the other product. So this is what is replacement demand. So now coming to last one, that is total market and segment market. For example, total market means we are studying about the total market. For example, you can take it as sugar. How the sugar consumption, like what is the total sugar consumption in a particular region. So that can be known by knowing the market condition. So what is the segment market demand? So segment market demand is, see, sugar consumption in the sense like in a particular region like Hyderabad. So what is the sugar consumption? What is the population and what is the sugar consumption? So if we are studying this, then we call it as a total market demand. And coming to segment market demand is how much or what is the portion of sweet industries are using sugar. So how much, here we study how this sweet industry is going to take the sugar or buy the sugar from the total market. So this, we are studying the segment market here. So what is the segment market? Is here what is the consumption of sweet industry. So that is segment market, right? So total market is, we are not specific about a sweet industry or household. Okay, we are studying the whole consumption of the sugar. What is going to be, what is demanded, right? So that is total demand and segment demand. So now coming to the next topic, that is factors which are affecting demand. So we have different factors which affect or determine the demand. So the very first one is price of the product. So based on price of the product, we are going to create demand. For example, when you visit any supermarket, you find lot of variety of products over there, right? So when we see, we compare and buy from a supermarket, right? So what are we going to compare? Do we compare the weight? No, we don't compare the weight. We first compare the price. Very first point in our mind comes, that is price, right? We compare the price with some other similar kind of product with maybe some other company. So we just compare the product, and then how do we compare? We compare with the price, right? So then we are going to buy or select that particular product to buy, right? So based on price, definitely demand is going to be created. If price is more, though it is 1 or 2 or 10 rupees or 100 rupees, we like to be very happy if the price gets reduced, right? So that it is a psychological feeling, of course, I can say that. But psychologically, you are happy when the price is low, right? So here, a price of the good comes down. So definitely we like to buy the product. Okay. So here price is one of the determinant to create demand. And the next one is income of the consumer. So what is this income of the consumer? So I'm not earning anything. How can I go and buy product? I cannot buy any product, right? So here, income, if I'm earning 10,000 rupees, definitely I create, do I save all this 10,000 rupees for myself? I'm not going to like save all the 10,000. At least 5 to 6,000 I'm going to spend some money, that is 5 to 6,000, and buy some products for myself, right? And then I may save 4,000, right? So here, based on income, if I'm not earning, I'm not going to create demand. If I'm earning 10,000, I'm going to create demand for 5 or 6,000 rupees. If I'm earning 40,000 rupees, I will definitely spend 20,000 rupees out of it, right? So spending means what? You are spending something to buy something, or you are spending to create demand, or you are creating demand by spending, right? So that's the reason, based on income, here demand is going to be created. And income and demand are directly proportional, where price and demand are inversely proportional. And next, coming to the next point, taste and preference. So coming to taste and preference, I use only branded goods. When I use only branded goods, my preference is only that. I am going to buy only those branded goods. And my taste is this. So when I my taste and preference is this. So I'm going to create demand for that, right? So based on taste and preference of the consumer or customer, so we are going to create demand. And the next one is price of related goods. So price of related goods means here what is this a related good? Related good means we have two types of goods. One is substitute good and the other one is complementary good. Okay. So anyhow, I'm going to discuss about substitute and complementary good in the next slide also. So I'll just give the little glance about what is substitute good and what is a related good. So coming to substitute good. So for example, I am feeling drowsy, so I want to refresh myself. So to refresh myself, what can I have? I can have tea or coffee, right? So when I want to have tea and coffee, so for very first minute we go and check the prices. What is the price of tea? What is the price of coffee? So price of coffee is high, 10 rupees or 15 rupees, right? Price of tea is 10 rupees. So why to spend more money? So the purpose is same, that is both are satisfying my want. That is I should get refreshed. Okay. Instead of spending 15 rupees, I spend only 10 rupees and have a tea. I'm getting refreshment, right? So here we are going to talk about substitute goods. So instead of that, instead of whiteboard or instead of a blackboard, we can replace with a smart board, right? So both are serving the same purpose like teaching, right? But here I'm going to check what are the possibilities and what is the price, how effectively we can use both the things, and what is the benefit which is going to come out of it. So we compare all these things and then replace the or we substitute the goods here. Okay, that is about substitute goods. And coming to complementary goods. So when we buy a TV, we definitely want to buy what? What? We want to buy a remote, right? So without remote, we cannot use a TV, right? So that's the reason. So here for TV, what is complementary good? Remote is a complementary good, right? So we are going to buy, we are going to create demand for TV also. Okay. If we are creating demand for TV, we are creating demand for remotes also. Okay. So that is a complementary good. So what is the price of complementary good? So based on price of complementary goods also, we are going to create demand. And the next one is expectation of prices. So we are expecting that price of a certain goods are going to increase in future or decrease in future. So what are we going to do now? So if price is going to increase in the future, so we would like to buy the goods now itself, right? And if you know that price is going to come down in the near future, so what we will do? We will forego or will stop buying the goods now and will postpone to buy those goods later on at a later on date when the price comes down. We look like that, right? So based on expectation of the prices of the goods or services in the future, we are going to create demand. And next, coming to expectation about income of the consumer, right? So here, based on income, for example, I am earning 10,000 rupees today. I am going to earn 20,000 rupees tomorrow. So what do I do immediately? I am going to buy more number of goods, right? So if my salary from 10,000, I'm getting back to 5,000. So what will I do? I stop buying more amount of goods because I need to save my money for future purpose, right? So based on this, based on income, based on the expectation of the income and of in the future, I'm going to create demand. So there is a fluctuation in demand based on the expectation of the income in the future. And next one is size of the population. So based on what is the size of population, so at a particular region, what is the size of population? Based on size of population, so people, if more people are there, more people are going to buy goods or services, right? So if the size, we are not going to study the size of population, we cannot or a manufacturer cannot understand what is the demand which he is going to be created in that particular region. So size of the population is also one of the determinant of demand. And next, coming to advertisement efforts. So advertisement effort is where if we publicize more about the products, we can have more demand in the market. So the more the publicity is, the more demand can be created. So these are all the different types of or different factors which are determining demand. So based on these determinants of demand, a demand function can be stated. So let's see what is the demand function here. So demand function is quantity demanded is equal to f of price, f of p, that is price, and I, that is income, and t, that is taste, and pr, price of related good. So price of related good, as I told, price of related good means here we have two types of products, that is complementary and substitute goods. So what is going to happen when the price increases and decreases in case of complementary and substitute goods? Let us see now, right? So if increase in price in case of complementary goods, so if price is increasing, demand is going to be decreased. If price is increased, then in case of substitute goods, demand is going to be decreased. And coming to, if price is decreasing, then complementary goods demand is going to be increased. And coming to substitute goods, if price decreases, demand is going to be decreased, right? So now, so this is about price, how the price is increasing and decreasing, which is going to affect the demand of complementary goods and substitute goods. And now coming to the next function, determinant of the demand, that is expectation of price in future, and how the expectation of income of the customer in the future, and size of the population, and this is distribution among the region. So how we are, or how a manufacturer is going to distribute among different regions. At a particular region, if more number of people are located, so at that region, at that size of population, a manufacturer has to distribute more number of products where he is going to capture the market at that particular moment. So we need this is distribution among the population. And coming to the next one, that is advertisement efforts. The more we are going to publicize about the product, the more demand can be created. Okay, and coming to the last one, that is O. O means here any other factor which is going to create demand also considers to create a demand. So our demand function is QD is equal to F of P, I, T, PR, EP, EI, SP, DC, A and O. So this is what is demand function. So thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.